And let me share the screen. Yeah, so in the web designing lesson, this is the place where we have stopped creating the pages, right? So then we have to talk about this web designing softwares. So there are two types, which is the web authoring tools and content management systems. In short form, we call it a CMS. So both these softwares are helping us to create a web page in a very easy manner, like without hard coding each and every tag, like we have done using the notepad, right? So this is like it is up to the content, as this word says, right? So we call it like YCYG concept. So that means what you see is what you get, right? So that means කරන දේ තමයි ඔයාට හම්බෙන්නේ කියනවා. Screen එකේ කරන දේ ඔයාට ලැබෙනවා, right? Likewise. So in very basic terms, in very simple words, now this web authoring tool and content management systems are like allowing us to work, or allowing us to manage our web page like we are working on a graphic editing tool, or like we are working in a word processing software, right? So like we can place the pictures, we can type whatever the things we want, we can place the we can place the video clip or audio clip. Like it's more likely to the presentation, right? It is the place that we are allowing us to have all these things. Yes, everyone, happy new year again, right? And Daniel, thank you for the wishes. And yeah, let's continue. So then first we have to talk about this web authoring tool. So like there are many different web authoring tools, right? And those web authoring tools uh, can be downloaded or can be purchased, right? So like there are things which you can download free and use free, and there are things that you have to uh, purchase, or like you have to pay and take, right? So the authoring tools that uh, given on this particular page are some authoring tools which are freely available, right? So these are free and open source softwares. So that means you don't need to pay, and you can like make use of them to do your own work, right? And there are like licensed softwares as well, like Dreamweaver, right? Visual Studio, Front Page, which is given by the Microsoft, right? So those things are like we have to pay and take, right? So today I'm going to show you how a web page can be developed simply by using the composer, right? So like before that, I'll show you how to download things, like how you can download the composer. It's very easy, right? This is the website that you need to go if you search composer downloader. So like it has this website, not this particular thing. Where the type correct composer. Yeah, from this composer.net, right? So this is the web page that you need to go through, and you can download it from here, right? I'll send you the link via this chat. So if anyone interested, interested in, you can just download it, right? So when you are downloading this, there is no specific installation process for this, right? This is a mobile package, right? So where you can download, as I remember, it was downloaded as a compressed folder. So you have to extract it. So extracting is easy, like you can right click and do the extraction, right? So like let me move to the composer. Yeah, this is it is. So it is composer portable. So it will be like receiving you. No, Danidu, it's not like a web app. It is a the web page creating environment, Huda, right? So it allows us to create the web page, right? It's nothing related with the internet or the web, but we are creating web pages out of this, but it is not a web app kind of thing. And there are web apps as well, not like Composer, right? There are many other tools, but Composer itself is not a web app, right? It's a yeah, the generic name is, as we learn, it's a web authoring tool. අපිට මෙයාව ලියලා හදන්න පුළුවන්. Right? No, there is no installations. That's what I told you. I don't remember actually how it is being downloaded. Now, if it is downloaded something like this, like a compressed folder, right? So only thing that you have to do is right click on it and extract it, right? So I'm just compressing the folder for you to show how the things are going to happen, right? So it is being compressed. And hold on. See that now you can see there is this composer portable .zip, so that this can be in many different extensions like zip, like rar, like so. That doesn't matter. The only thing that you have to do is when you get something like this, you have to right click and extract, right? So according to the software that you are using, this extract option will get changed, but you can find the extract word in there, so you can extract. So once you extract it, you will be receiving this type of a normal simple folder. So when you move into that, there is this exe. So only thing that you need to do is just double click on it, right? So it will open. It's very easy, right? So now when you open that, like you will feel very familiar, like this is something like a word, like word editor. Like you can have you can use these buttons to increase and decrease fonts, bold, italic, underlines are there, the alignments are there, right? And you can use the like what type of fonts that you are going to type. So it indicates paragraphs, heading 1 and heading 6, address, pre-format, and all these things, some things that you don't know in sometimes, right? And it's giving you the fonts, different types of fonts that you can use, right? And these numbered list, or like the ordered list and unordered list, right? If you want a definition list, you can have definition lists, right? If you want to indent, you can do the indentation. You can choose the colors from this black box. If you click on it, the color palette will be open, right? So whatever the things that you have done in the text editor when you are creating the web page, you can do more out of this, right? So you can easily insert an image, create a link, have an anchor tag, right? Create a table. Those things will be there, and cascades also there. Cascades means the way we are going to decorate a web page, which we are not learning in this syllabus, but when it comes to the A-level ICT, we are going to do that, right? So those kind of things can be done. right? So I'm going to make a very small web page very quickly, right? So let me, since I'm having these photos of Sigiriya, I'm going to do something like Sigiriya, right? So this is very easy. So I need a heading. So I'm just typing Sigiriya and selecting it. And from this body text, I'm making it as a heading 1. And I'm making it center aligned, right? So if I want, I can underline that, right? So then in this editor, you can see there are different kinds of tabs here: normal, HTML tags, source, preview, those kind of things. So now we are in the normal tab. Now go to the now when we are moving to the HTML tag, it shows you what are the things, what are the tags that we are using. And if we move to the source right over here, if we move to the source, see this HTML code has already written on behalf of us. So අපි මෙතන කරන changes ඔක්කොම ටික මෙයා source එකේ ලියා ගන්නවා. Right? So from the preview, you can see how the web page is going to happen. Right? Okay, so I took this as a Sigiriya, and let me have some wordings regarding the Sigiriya. Yeah, so I'm copying this paragraph and taking onto my web authoring tool. So it is a paragraph. So I can increase the font size. Oh, just a minute. For some reason, the font is not being increased. Yeah, I'm undoing things. And I just paste it without formatting. So now I can increase the font, yes. Right. And if I need to change the color, I'm going to change the color. No, Leandra. In any web authoring tool, they do the same. Like if you take Dreamweaver, if you take like the all other web authoring tools, they write the codes by themselves, right? Leandra ඇහුවේ මේ composer එකේ විතරද මේ විදිහට මේ self coding කියන එක සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ කියලා, මේ source code මේ විදිහට ලියවෙන්නේ කියලා. No, it happens in everywhere. Right? Everywhere means in all the web authoring tools, right? Okay, so I'm managing it, and I am going to justify this thing, and I'm going to center aligned and justified, right? So this is the formatting, right? And if I need to have a list, so I'm just clicking on the list, right? So what we are going to put right over here. Yeah, Danindu, it's an illegal thing to take someone else's source code if it is a licensed one. Then ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ ඔයා codes හොයන්න ගියොත් ගොඩක් කට්ටිය ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ code එක freely available කරලා තියෙනවා, especially when it comes to the HTML codes, right? So you can copy those things. That doesn't matter because they just publicly available that thing. And if they say something about like this is a licensed one, and ඒක එහෙමනම් they are like they are specifying it. You can't copy this. This is illegal and this is copyright. You can take legal actions regarding this. So those cases, don't try for those, right? In most of the coding part, you can find a lot of codes. Like there are many different, like developers are helping the beginners always, right? So they available their codes, most of their codes in the internet, All right. All right, so let me have some list. I'm blindly going to have some words, right? Right, so likewise, we can format this as well. Some increased of the things and some colors we can apply. Oh, this particular thing, it isn't color itself. Right. So then, yeah, if I need to add a picture, so I simply go to the image and I can browse the things in my computer. So here I'm taking it and they're asking us to have an alternative text, right? Or you can go for like, don't use alternate text. So we can have alternative text. Like I'm going to say Sikiri rock. Like it's good. It's a good practice to have an alternative text, like which we have indicated by ALT, right? And you can do the advanced editing right over here, or you can just press OK, and you can see the picture is coming like going all over the page, and you can simply click the picture and resize it, right? So that doesn't matter. So like we are editing on a Word document, we can give the changes, right? If you want, you can center align that, right? And give some, like make it a little bit stretching. And if I need to put a table, it's easy as well. So I can insert a table. So I have to define how many rows and how many columns, or otherwise I can go for the advanced edit and say how many columns and how many rows are there, right? Oh, hold on. Haven't they not precisely? Yeah, in the precisely tab, we can say how many rows and how many columns, right? And there are many things, right? So I'm going to show the ticket price. So like ticket price and the category. So I'm going to take these two. So I'm inside a table, so I can say ticket price, and I can say category, right? And yeah, I can manage the width and height and all these things, right? And I can have the alignments of the contents. The entire thing, how I'm going to yes. And here I'm not get in the way of center aligning the table, right? Make විදිහක් ඇති, right? But I'm not getting it, so I can do it using the source, right? එහෙම දේවල් ඔයගලන්ට කරන්න එනවා ඇති තරම් මේවා කරනකොට. So I'm giving 100 for adult and 50 for child, right? So right, so if I need to center line this now, I can't find it directly how the things are going to happen. So I'm going to the source. Now you can see like many different coding is there. So in here I can say like before the table tag I can use a center tag neither. So after the table I'm going to close the center. Right, let's see whether it's work. Yeah, it's work very fine, right? So likewise you can change the things of a web page and develop a one in a very easy manner, right? So if I increase this font size furthermore, right? So this is going to be my web page now. So I'm going to save this as an HTML one. So like go to the file and I can say save as, right? Yes, it's better. They are asking for a title kind of a thing, right? So I'm giving the Sigiri again. Here they are asking how to save this thing. So I'm saving it in my desktop saying cgiria.html, right? So it's HTML file, the extension. So I'm saving it. So when I'm moving to the desktop, oh my God, there are many. Yeah, here's my web page. Now, if I double click this, yeah, this is my web page. So it is that simple of creating it, right? Then මතක ඇතිනේ මේක අපි notepad එකේ කරනකොට නේද? We have to hard code each and every tag in your notepad, right? But when you are using a web authoring tool, it is something like this. And even we can see the preview from this tab. So it will show how the web page is going to be. And when you're having to the normal, they will just show you what are the margins of the particular things that you are using. And when it comes to the code, code has many new things inside. Like then අපි මෙහෙම දෙයක් ලියන්නේ නැහැ. Like these are some standards, right? And this meta content and all these things, like those are some extra stuff to make this output a much a fine-tuned one, a much give it a nicer look, much more nicer look for that, right? But most of the things we know neither. Like we have title tag over here, head tags open and close over here, body tag is open, h1 is there, this style tag is new to you. So this is what you call styling cascades කියලා අපි කිව්වේ මේවට තමයි, right? So this div tag it's but like kind of a new to you, right? But the only thing is which matters is the output. නේද? අපේ output එක හරියට තියෙනවා නම් so nothing matters at the coding end. So this is how the things are going to be done in your web authoring tool. So just give it a try, right? දීලා නිකන් බලන්න මොන වගේද කියලා අඳුරගන්න නේද? So in your textbook they have given you a nicer interface to create, so you can give it a try for this නේද? මේක ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් මේ වැඩේ කරගන්න table එකක් අරගෙන නේද? table එකේ මැද්දේ තියෙන cells ටික merge කරලා එතනට picture එකක් දාලා මේ පැත්තේ cells ටික මේ විදිහට merge කරලා මෙතන cells ටික මෙහෙම තනියෙන් අරගෙන, right? So you can do that, right? So see, maybe theater hadaganno appearance second or the structure, then you can place the things. Right. Okay, people, did you got what it says? Make අපිට නිකන් අඳුන්ලා දෙන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. So it's only you get to know what it is. Right? That's all that you have to take. Is it clear, people? Right, great. How about others? Okay, okay. Right. So I'm going to quickly go through the this static website and the dynamic website as well, right? අපි මේක එක දවසක් කරා මට මතක විදිහට මම මගේ I have shown you my back end of my website, and I told you like this like working with the dynamic website, we need a CMS, something called content management system, and with that content management system we can do a lot of modifications to our site which looks dynamic, or like which can embed the dynamism into our web page, right? So first I'll distinguish what is this static website and a dynamic website means. So the static website means the content of the website is maintained without any change over a period of time. ලොකු කාලයකට වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැත්තම්, right? Then if you take my website as an example, it's kind of a static website. Okay, ගොඩාක් contents change වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Video upload වෙනවා like for a week, but ඒ අරෙන්න වෙන මුකුත් විශේෂයෙන් වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? So we call it a static website, and very primitive knowledge of HTML you need to maintain a static website, right? And it is the user, the specific, the special thing is the user is like interacting with the web pages and the front end of the website, not the back end. Now, website there are two places, like the front end and the back end. So what we see from the browser is, we call it is the front end, and when the developer doing its things, he's doing it at the back end, right? ඒක හරියට අර නේද වෙසක් කාලෙට හදන තොරණ දැකලා තියෙනවනේ නේද? තොරණේ front end එකේ තමයි අපිට පේන්න තියෙන්නේ, බල්බ්ස් එළියට පේනවා, කතාව පේන්න තියෙන්නේ. තොරණ පිටිපස්සට ගියාම ලොකු circuit එකක් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. So that's what you call the back end, right? So something very similar. So the developer will go to the back end and do all the changes, and the people who are referring it can see the changes from the front end, and user is not involving with the back end in the static websites. But when it comes to the dynamic website, user is given the ability to change the contents of the website. Now, if you the very best example is the social media websites. So if you take Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or anything, that particular website is maintained by us. Us means the users. They are posting photos, making comments, having videos, like having chats and all these things. Everything will be recorded inside it. So it's the user involved to change the contents inside that particular website. Right. Right. So right. දුරපතල මට තප්පරයක් දෙන්න. Right. So when it comes to the dynamic website, as I told you, there are many ways that make that website to interact by the user, right? And in simple words, Adisha, you have raised your hand. Adisha, do you got a question? All right. Okay. Right. So, in simple words, dynamic websites contents are being changed, right, frequently, and which we call dynamically, and they are using different types of what you call the softwares like PHP. We call it hypertext preprocessor, right? ASP.NET active server page, JSP Java server pages. So there are many softwares that user to like have these facilities towards the user, as well as making the web page changing its contents in a dynamic manner, right? So very simple examples are given here, like current time is displayed as dynamic in a website, showing result of a candidate related to the index number. So like those are some responsive things, right? So when you are creating, or like when you are dealing with a dynamic website, you always need this. That means you always need means like you can have a dynamic website without this content management system. You can hard code it, but it's a very hard thing to do, right? Hard code කරනවා කියන්නේ අතින් type කර හදන්න පුළුවන්. It will be a very hard thing to do. So you need this content management system kind of a software where you can easily maintain the website that can act as a dynamic one. So here in this picture, they are showing you what is the difference between the static and a dynamic website. Now, when it is static, the server will be there. Server means the place where you are storing your web pages, right? And that server will show the web pages to the client. That means to the users or to the browser, right? So it's a unidirectional communication we are referring. Like server is there, it is providing the web pages to the browser. And when it comes to the dynamic website, it's a different thing. So client can see the web pages as well as මෙතන arrowhead එකක් client in between database and the client. There should be arrowhead එක දෙපැත්තටම තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? So client can give data. It will affect the web server, and web server can give data which is requested, which can be seen by the browser. Sayuri, web authoring tools also can be used to create dynamic web sites also, but when it comes to the web authoring tool and the CMS is the best tool to create dynamic websites. මොකද CMS එකේ like දුවලට template එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා, right? Templates දීලා තියෙනවා, components දීලා තියෙනවා. Ek hari lazy then. As you see in the composer, now මෙතන නෑනේ අපිට like comment box එකක් දාන්න ඒ වගේ දේවල්. Susu, good morning. Front to me. Right, අපිට මෙතන දීලා නෑනේ facilities ගොඩක් වෙලාට. දැන් මේ forms තියෙනවා. We can use the form elements to have this comment fields, text boxes, buttons, and all these things. But CMS, in a way, helping us to do it very effectively, right? And it is it's not like that you can't create a dynamic website using the web authoring tools, right? You can, you always can, right? Okay. We can't eat you. Let's go. Right. So Right, before we move to the content management system, I need you to highlight these things for you to copy to your textbook. So you can, if you can highlight it on your books, just highlight it. Leandra, it's always the dynamic. Again, it's like this, Leandra. It serves the purpose as well. Like where user interaction on ekakna dynamic tamai ganna wenni. But if you don't need the user interaction very much, you only need to express the things. Static is good, right? But then godak velawata then හැදෙනේවා හැදෙන්නේ dynamic විදියට නේද? User to interact වෙන්න පුළුවන් විදියට, because nowadays like user need that interaction. ගොඩක් මොකක් හරි දෙයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් නේද? ඒගොල්ලන්ට interact වෙන විදිහක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So like අපිට කියන්න බෑ dynamic ද වැඩියෙන් හොඳ static ද වැඩියෙන් හොඳ කියලා. Like it's regarding the purpose, right? Okay. So for your notes, right? For your notes, Leandra, in efficient point of view, Leandra is asking what is more efficient? Is it the static or the dynamic? Now, efficient point of view, static is becoming the more efficient one because it has limited things to get load into the browser. So it will load very quickly and users can interact with that as well. And then again, when it comes to the dynamic website, in dynamic websites, they are not going to load the entire website at once. Then as an example, if you take the social media, it will load the content that you are watching for the moment. Rest of the content api scroll කරනකොට තමයි යා load කරන්නේ. Right? එතකොට generally ගත්තොත් static is going to be more efficient, right? Because it take less time to load things because the contents are less in number. But dynamic, it gives us the feeling that it is efficient, right? ඒකයි අපිට දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට internet connection එක weak තැන් වලදී social media app එකක් හරි social media web එක හරි පාවිච්චි කරන්න ටිකක් අමාරු වෙන්නේ කර වෙලා ගන්නව load වෙන්න. Right? Likewise. Got it, Leandra? Okay. Right. So yeah. So it's better you highlight these things or mark these things to get copied to your books. So web design in software should be there as a topic. And you can say, as per the explanation, yeah, it's better you copy down the second para, not the first para. Don't use the but word. Start it from there are other web designing softwares which facilitate the web designing quicker and more interactive, and it's better you go up to this particular point, right? So web designing software, copy it starting from this second paragraph, right? So mark it, you have to do it at home. And under the web authoring tool, yeah, copy the very first paragraph, right, entirely. And after that, you have to write the examples. So examples are right over here. Composer, CK editor, Blue Griffin, those are the open source web editors. And Adobe Dreamweaver, Microsoft Front Page, Visual Studio. Those will be the licensed versions. Like there are many open source web editors as well as license. Right. Okay, then after, so for web authoring tools, it's the first paragraph entirely and the examples. And this designing part, we don't need to take down anything. It's just a practical part. And the static website and dynamic websites, right? So you have the main heading, static websites and the dynamic websites, and have the subheading then static websites, right? Then you mark this content. Yeah, the very first sentence you have to write, right? The very first sentence, and yeah, starting from here, for the very first line, mark the very first sentence. Then start from this point in the second paragraph. Only the designer of the website can enter the relevant changes. No, sorry. Starting from here, users are not directly connected. From here to here, right? So the very first sentence of the first paragraph, then the starting from the second sentence of the second paragraph until the end of the second paragraph, right? Okay, did you all got what I have said so far? කියපු දේවල් ටික මාක් කරගත්තද? Right. Okay. Then regarding the dynamic websites, the very first sentence, no, not the very first sentence, write the entire thing, because very first sentence says what it is and the next thing says the softwares that is used to do these differences. So the very first paragraph with examples that is needed. And yeah, it's better you have this diagram because it's clarify what's happening between the static and the dynamic. Right, so the first paragraph and the diagram. All right. Okay, so I'm moving forward. Here I'm going to tell you about the content management system. Now we have discussed this right earlier. So I'm going to take you to the very same place and refresh your memory, right? So the content management system, it is used for create the dynamic website, designing, right? And the content management and publishing part can be done. So in here, it is given many different components and many different facilities to have that dynamism to the website that you are going to create, right? So as we talked earlier, it uses HTML, PHP, JavaScript, CSS, SQL kind of programs, right? Which you don't need to bother very much in this with your syllabus, right? But I'll show you how the things are going to happen. And again, there is some disadvantages using of CMS, but which you can easily eliminate. Like when you are having a CMS, like as an example, if you take Joomla, if you are not using any different template, right? All the Joomla site comes with a one specific format. right? එතකොට ටෙම්ප්ලේට් එකක් පාවිච්චි නොකරොත් ටෙම්ප්ලේට් එක කියලා කියන්නේ හරියට නිකන් අපි අඳින්න ගන්න ඇඳුමක් වගේ. right? එතකොට අපි එක එක ඇඳුම් ඇඳමනේ අපි එක එක විදිහ වෙන්නේ. right? නැත්නම් අපි ඔක්කොම මිනිස්සු. so like ඒ කියන්නේ එහෙම ඔයාලා ටෙම්ප්ලේට් එකක් පාවිච්චි නොකරොත් ඔයාගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එක ඔයා හැදුවත් තව කෙනෙක් හැදුවත් දෙන්නම same template default template නම් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ එක වගේම තමයි වෙබ්සයිට් එක. ඒකට ඒකට අපි කියනවා monotonous කියලා, right? So the design will be monotonous කියලා අපි කියනවා. So you can easily eliminate that monotonousness using some of the templates, right? So there are many different templates. I'll show you the templates as well, right? So you can give it a try. So there are many different CMSs. So these are some open source content management systems. Joomla, which is very popular one, and WordPress and Drupal, right? These things are like very popular websites. Like there are many more. I have designed my website using Joomla, right? So I'll show you how the things are happens, and even you can have this experience. Like it's a little complex scenario that you have to when you are trying to install Joomla into your computer, right? මොකද දැන් මම මගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එක මේන්ටේන් කරන්නේ වෙබ් එකේ තියාගෙන Joomla වෙබ් එකටම ගිහිලා තමයි මම මේන්ටේන් කරන්නේ. But if you can do it by installing the Joomla into your computer, right? Joomla install කරලා ඒක නිකන් virtual server එකක් වගේ හදාගෙන වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? So to do this, you have to have these three softwares, which are called the Apache. Apache is working as a server. PHP, which allows you to interact with the server, and MySQL, which allows you to interact with the database, right? Then ඔයගලන්ගේ level එකේ මේ එකක්වත් test කරන්න නැහැ. Only thing you need to know මෙහෙම දේවල් ටිකක් තියෙනවා කියලා, right? Now, without installing these three things separately into your computer, you can have this kind of software like WAMP, XAMPP, and there are many different things like this. Like these are called the virtual servers, right? So the WAMP, XAMPP, there is some other one called Tomcat, Glassfish. There are many different things, right? So if you install one of these, all these softwares will get installed automatically with this server, right? So then you can go to the Joomla and download the Joomla software, and you can install it to the computer, right? Which will be a very a little complex scenario, right? Which I'm not going to do. And then you are given the ability to change the things and see, right? So if I show you mine, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment because I need to give my username and passwords. So right, so this is my Joomla login, right? So starlabs.lk කියන එකේම extension එකක් තියෙන්නේ. So you can give the username and the password and press login. So you will be logged into the back end of your computer, right? Not the computer, back end of your website, right? So එතකොට මගේ front end එක මොන වගේද? This is my front end, right? So this is the website. So you can see there are menus and there are a lot of things inside it, right? දැන් මම මෙතන මේ පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන්නේ ටෙම්ප්ලේට් එකක්. මේ විදිහට මේ නිල් පාට බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එකක් එක්ක ඔයම එන්න මම පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන ටෙම්ප්ලේට් එකක්. මම මොන page එකට move වුණත් මගේ ඒ content එක මේ theme colors ඒවා change වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මේක තමයි මම කිව්වේ if you are not using a template, Joomla site itself have its default way of showing the website, which is a very raw one, right? And those will looks very alike, right? So now here I'm having these updates regarding different kinds of software, so I can view the updates and install those. දැන් මෙතන මේ තියෙන මම පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන plugin එකක්, right? Plugin means එකක් එක්තරා ආකාරයක software එකක් කියලා හිතා ගන්නකො දැනට, right? So those kind of things can be taken, right? And yeah, these are the things, the system information of my site. So I have installed PHP, as you can see, right? And databases are there, right? Type, version, and collection, they are showing in the PHP version. And the web server that I'm using is Apache, right? And the Joomla version is there. So these different things are there. Now this is on the web now. මේ web එකේ ඉඳගෙනමයි මේ වැඩ ටික කරන්නේ. මගේ computer එකේ install කරගෙන නෙවෙයි, right? And I can make the things, or like I can insert things into my website using the articles, right? And I can manage my menus. Menus means this particular thing, right? Using the menu, right? So I'm opening those two things separately, right? And for your information, I'll show you some templates as well. මගේ website එකේ පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන templates ටික. දැන් මේ main එකක් තමයි මම දැනට පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. දැන් the one that I am using is the one which is highlighted over here. Hydrogen default grant T5 කියලා තියෙන. So it is the one which I am using, right? So there are different types of themes. මම දැන් වෙන එකක් අරගත්තොත් ඒ theme එක apply වෙනවා. මම දැන් මේ moment එක apply කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද එහෙම වුණාම website එකේ settings පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් වෙනවා, right? So I'm not going to deal with it now, but I'll show you what this is, right? මොන වගේද කියලා බලන්න ක්‍රමයක් තිබුණා තප්පරයකින් ළමයි. Yeah, මේ තියෙන template preview එක අපි බලමු. දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ මේ template එක මගේ site එකට apply කරොත් පේන විදිහ, right? So there are many things that I have to change, right? ඔය විදිහට අපිට template එකෙන් template එක preview කරලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. Right, I'll show you my default one. right? And this is the template that I am using for the moment, right? So ඒක ඒ විදිහම තමයි settle වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, right? මේ template එකේ positions අඳුන ගන්න එහෙම මට මේක වැදගත් වෙනවා, right? So I can ඔය විදිහට මට පුළුවන් එක එක જાතියේ templates අරගෙන ඒක මගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකට කොහොමද ගැලපෙන්නේ කියන එක හොයලා බලා ගන්න, right? This is another one, right? මේකත් එක වැඩ කරනකොට මේක ගැන හොඳට දැනුවත් වෙලා තමයි වැඩ කරගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. මොකද නැත්තම් ඔයාගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එක totally change වෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? එහෙම වුණාම හරි කරදරයි ඉතින්. Right, so the changes can be done through these things, admin, cache, and all lot of things are there. So you can do and apply it to particular templates. So those will like change the way it shows you, right? Then මේ මම අරගෙන තියෙන templates කීප එක පොඩි previews ටිකක් තමයි මෙතන පෙන්නලා තියෙනවා. දැනට use කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ Granty කියන theme එක. Right, so likewise you can have, and you can find a lot of themes. There is a very famous website called Theme Forest, right? Theme Forest එකට ගියාම like ඒකේ තියෙනවා එක එක જાතියේ Joomla themes, WordPress themes, like එක එක category එකකින් category එකට තියෙනවා, right? So නිකන් template එකක් පෙන්නන්න. Let's see, there are many different themes. ඒ වගේ මේකට price එකකුත් තියෙනවා. You can see it, $43, $39. So it's a one-time payment, right? And you have to pay and take it, right? Free තියෙන ඒවාත් තියෙනවා, right? හැබැයි free තියෙන ඒවා ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට කියන්නේ හොඳට හොයලා බලලා ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒක ටිකක් ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට free තියෙන එකක් settle වුණාම වෙන්නේ එක්ක advertisement එනවා, නැත්නම් අර කියන features ඔක්කොම නැහැ, ඔය වගේ පොඩි පොඩි ගැටලු එනවා. දැන් මට පුළුවන් මේ theme එකක් live preview කරලා බලන්න. So here I am live previewing it. Right, so this is the way it shows. So දැන් මේ theme එක දාගත්තා කියලා කියන්නේ මේ ඔක්කොම දේවල් ටික අපේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකට එනවා. So we only need to change these things. කියන්නේ back end එකට ගිහිල්ලා මේ මොන හරි menu items වැඩි නම් අඩු කරගන්න පුළුවන්, අඩු නම් තව එකතු කරගන්න පුළුවන්, මේ තියෙන තැන් change කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර මේ මුළු setup එකම already given to us, right? එකමයි දැන් අපි මේක HTML code කරලා හදන්න ගියොත් අපිට සෑහෙන ලොකු මහන්සියක් ගන්න වෙනවා, right? theme එකක් පාවිච්චි කරාම හරි ලේසියෙන් ඒ වැඩේ කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Right, people, just give me a feedback. දැන් තේරුණාද මොන වගේද CMS එක කියන එක? Right, okay. So ඉතින් මේවා explore කරන්න ඔයගලන්ට IT ඉගෙන ගන්න එකේ තියෙන ලොකුම වැදගත්කම ඕක. right, ගිහිල්ලා try එකක් දෙන්න, මේවත් එක්ක හැප්පිලා බලන්න මේවා වැඩ කරගෙන යනකොට හරි වදේ කියලා හිතෙනවා, right? ගොඩක් තියෙනවනේ කරන්න කොහොමද කියලා. but ඔයා මේක හරියට හුරු වුණොත් ඔයාට ගෙදර ඉඳලා job එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්, ඔයාගේම company එකක් form කරගන්න පුළුවන්. There are many I've got a lot of friends who have done that, right? ඒගොල්ලෝ ගෙදර ඉඳලා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ skill එක දියුණු කරගෙන මේක තියෙනම practice එකම විතරයි. practice කරන්නේ කොහොමද? ඔයා දැනට පොඩියට නිකන් පොඩි website එකක් හදලා සල්ලි අවශ්‍ය නැහැ, free එකක හරි හදලා features ටික හරියට හුරු වෙන්න, right? කොහොමද මේ add කරන්නේ, කොතනින්ද modify කරන්නේ, මොන විදිහටද කරන්නේ කියලා වරද්ද ඉගෙන ගන්න. There are many different sources in the internet and you can try those. හැබැයි දැන් කරන්න යන්න එපා. O level වලින් පස්සේ කරන්න යන්න හොඳේ. නැත්තම් O level පැත්තක දාලා කට්ටිය වෙබ්සයිට් හදා ඉන්නේ, right? Okay, so that is what we have to learn through the CMS, right? So next is about the roles of the web design and publication of these particular things. I'll quickly go through this since we are having another 20 minutes of time. දරවිට මේක ඉවර කරාම ඊළඟ සතියේ අපි paper එක discuss කරලා ඊට පස්සේ සතියේ ඊළඟ lesson එකේ තියෙන theory දේවල් ටික චුට්ටක් කතා කරගමු. Right? So regarding these roles related to the web designing, so there are many: the author, editor, publisher, administrator, and user. Now, author is the one who is designing the interface for the website, like us, right? When we are developing one. So, editor, and again, we can have this particular role as well. So, the author will design it. Maybe the home page, maybe the contact us page should be something like this, and it should have a map, and this is the structure. Basically, the plan is given by the author. An editor will write the codes and using a web authoring tool or a CMS, right, and design it and check for errors and rectify those, right? Rectify right? Then the publisher will fulfill the task related to the publishing of the website. And I couldn't show you how publishing the things. Yeah, let me show it to you as well. So like I told you, there are two things called articles and menus. So articles we use to create the contents. Menus we use to create this type of menus. Now, a particular article will be loaded into this particular body using the menu. Then අපි articles කොච්චර හැදුවත් ඒක එකපාරට website එකට එන්නේ නෑ CMS එක. We have to assign that particular article to this particular menu item. Then only we have this ability to navigate here and there, right? So අපි article එකක් හැදුවම දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ මගේ article list එක. So in this article list, there is something called video lesson, which I have not published, right? එතකොට මම මේ තියෙන red cross එකක් වගේ එකක් තියෙන්නේ නේද? එතනට ගියාම මට කියනවා මෙයාව publish කරන්න කියලා, right? මම මෙයාව publish කරලා නැහැ තාම. Likewise, I'll show you the menu. Oh, sorry, sharing got stopped. I'll show you the menus, and in my main menu there are several different menu items, right? Home, ICT lesson, GIT lesson recording. එතකොට මේ ED කැලිට් එක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ sub menus. right? now home කියන එක ඔයගලන්ට මෙතන home කියලා බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ICT lessons කියන එක යට GIT කියන එක තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ menu එකේ ICT lessons කියන එකේ sub menu එකක් තමයි GIT විදිහට තියෙන්නේ. So let's under the lessons recording there are 3 menu items. So lessons recording I got 3, right? So likewise you have to have the menus as well. So menu එකට තමයි අපි article එකක් bind කරන්න ඕනේ, right? So now there is a menu item called EB exam answers, which I am not published. These things are published. Publish කරලා තියෙන එක්කෙනෙක් ගාව correction mark එකක් එනවා, right? Unpublished එක්කෙනෙක් ගාව මේ වගේ කතිරයක් ඔයගලන්ට දකින්න හැබැයි. එතකොට එයා ගාවට ගෙනිච්චම publish කරන්න කියලා කියනවා. already publish කරන කෙනෙක් ගාවට ගෙනිච්චම unpublish කරන්න කියන. කියන්නේ click කරාම state එක change වෙනවා. දැන් මම මෙයාව click කරොත් මෙයා publish වෙනවා. Now I'm clicking it, right? So it's going to publish. The page will be refreshed and you can see the correction mark has appeared, right? Then mama mage website එකට ගිහිල්ලා මගේ website එකේ දැන් තියෙන menu items 5යි. and then මෙයාව refresh කරාම බලන්න අලුතෙන් menu item එකක් එනවා. see EB exam answers කියලා එක්කෙනෙක් මේ කෙලවරෙන් ආවා. කලින් තිබුණේ 5යි. එතනට ගියාම එයා ගාව තියෙන content එකක් මේගොල්ලෝ පෙන්නනවා. right? So likewise that is what you call publishing. Publishing means නේද? දැන් අපි paper එකක් publish කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ නේද? ඒක ජනතාවට දැනගන්න අරිනවා කියන එකනේ, right? හැමෝටම access කරන්න දෙනවා කියන එක. So that is what you call publishing. Now, when it comes to a complex websites, there is a specific role called publisher. එයා තමයි මේ හදන articles බල බල මොන වෙලාවටද publish කරන්නේ, කොතනද publish කරන්නේ, right? කොහොමද ඒක schedule වෙන්නේ, ඔය කියන දේවල් ටික manage කරගන්න. Right? So that's the way of managing and managing the publishing of a website. So I'm going to unpublish this again. This is not needed for the moment. එහෙම කළා මට මෙයාව refresh කරන්න පුළුවන්. So it is gone now. Okay, so then the administrator fulfills the maintenance task related to the web server and the database. So he's taking care of the back end. Administrator is taking care of the back end of the website. Now this publisher, specifically the publisher is responsible to change the publishing part of the front end, and editor again working with the back end, right? And users always working with the front end, right? And through the front end they can give some they have some extent of change in the back end of the website when it comes to the dynamic websites, but not entirely. It's very limited amount of things that he or she can do when we are being a user. So they generally work with the front end of the website, right? Okay, so I need you to copy down the things before I move to the other part. So regarding the content management system, did we went through this? No, we didn't, neither. Yeah, so under the content management system topic, highlight the very first line and the very first line of the second para as well. Yeah, so likewise, and yeah, these example plus these examples. You don't need to write the URLs, just say the Joomla, WordPress, and Drupal, right? So I'll go through again the very first line of the first paragraph and the first line of the second paragraph and the examples. Right, then you don't need to go through these steps, right? And regarding the roles related to the web designing, yeah, you just have the roles related to the web designing heading and just copy down the roles. You don't need the you don't need to write the para, right? This particular thing. Okay, so regarding the publication, we actually talk about it through the when we are going through the past papers, right? So I'm going through that quickly again, so to refresh. So to publicate to publicate the website, we have to do several different things, right? Api website ekak like if we just create inside our computer, it doesn't mean that we have published it to the outer world or to the public, to the general public. So you have to take your website and put it inside a place where everyone can see it. So those places are called servers, right? So apita apema server එකක් manage කරගන්න අමාරුයි. It is very hard for us to maintain our own server. So we have to put our website in a place where we are given to host our website, or to where we are given, or we can rent that particular space of the in the www, in the World Wide Web, right? So there are many different like hosting service providers, or like the people who are giving us the server spaces. So we can build our website in our computer, and we can take all those files and put inside the particular place that we are rented, right? So I'll show you the place where I am maintaining, or the host of my particular website, right? So I have taken it using the LK domains, right? Yeah, it's the register.lk. It is not register.lk, it is LK domains. nic.lk. Yeah, this is the one. So yeah, I have to go to my account. I really don't remember what are the username and the password that I use here. Yeah, I'm stopping the sharing for a moment. Yeah, so now I'm in. So now LK Domain Registry, this is the company that provide me the server space, right? So I can view my domains by clicking this domain, right? And here it shows what are the website and what kind of facilities that I'm having. So this is the website that I'm using, and this is the payments and all these things, right? And yeah, so here if I got any more domains, I can register it right over here, and I can pay for them, right? So I'll try to have the details, particular this thing. Yeah, so these are the general information, and let me see the domain role. Yeah, these are like the domain registration, the contact details of mine, right? And server records. Yeah, so this is the this is actually the server that I am using, which is called the vorex.com. Then me LK domain registry කියන එකෙන් මට දීලා තියෙන domain name එක www.starlabs.lk කියන domain name එක. ඒ domain name එක purchase කරන තැනට I have to give what are the servers of mine. එතකොට මේ vorex.com කියන තැනින් තමයි මම server space එක මිලදීගෙන තියෙන්නේ. purchase කරලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ගෙන් server space එකක් මිලදී ගත්තම ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙනවා ඒ server space එකට access කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිහ. එතකොට ඒක මෙතන පෙන්නනවා. එතකොට මට එක පැත්තකින් I got a domain name, and from the other hand I got a server. එතකොට මගේ website එකට නමක් තියෙනවා, website එක තියන්න තැනක් තියෙනවා. right? So then those two will help the other people to find my particular website. So using the domain name, they find it. Using the server, which is these two things, will allow my web pages to stay inside that server, right? So everyone can see that, right? So that is what you call the hosting part, right? So to publicate a website, we need a web designing software, which we have talked, a web host. Now, recently we discussed about it, a domain name, file transfer protocol, and an internet connection. So web host, as I told you, it is a place that allows us to keep our web pages. So everyone can visit to that place and see what's inside our website. That is what you call the web host. So like uh, the web host will host our website on behalf of us by keeping its own place, right? And the domain name, this is something called what we call a provider, a service provider who provides the domain names for the people who need that. Then website එකක් හැදුවොත් ඒකට නමක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? So domain names are unique. එක්කෙනෙකුට දීපු නමක් තව එක්කෙනෙකුට දෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? So if I got a starlabs.lk, so no one else is having starlabs.lk, but there can be starlabs.com, right? ඒ විදිහට තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මම මේ lk domain එකට ගිහිල්ලා මෙතන මම starlabs.lk කියලා type කරොත් මේකෙන් මම කියන්නේ මට මෙයාව search කරලා දෙන්න කියලා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක. එතකොට මේගොල්ලෝ search කරලා බලලා කියනවා starlabs කියන එක අරගන්න බෑ, it is taken කියලා. Right? මේ තියෙන්නේ starlabs.lk is registered. Right? So ඒක කාටද register වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, මේ දේවල් ටික තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලෝ suggest කරනවා මෙන්න මේ ඒවා තියෙනවා. මේ තියෙන්නේ starlabs edu.lk, starlabs.com.lk ඔය විදිහට මේකෙන් lk ඒවා විතරයි suggest කරන්නේ. මොකද මේගොල්ලෝ like popular for providing lk domains, right? So ඒ විදිහට වෙන වෙන ඒවා අපිට අරගන්න පුළුවන්. මුලින්ම හොයාගන්න ඕනේ මගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකට අවශ්‍ය වෙන නම available ද කියලා. Domain service providers like there are many domain name service providers like godaddy.com, bluehost, nic.lk, register.lk. there are many. ඒ හැම කෙනෙක් ගාම domain names තියෙන unique domain names. So ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒකේ register කරාම no one else can take that name, right? සමහර වෙලාවලට මෙන්න මෙහෙම දේවල් වෙනවා, like there is a fee that they are requesting annually, and if I miss the payment or if I neglect the payment, they will collect the domain name again. දැන් මම අවුරුද්දකට සැරයක් payment එකක් කරනවා, ඒ payment එක හරියට සිද්ධ නොවුනොත් register.lk එකට තියෙනවා අයිතිය domain name එක අරගෙන වෙන කෙනෙකුට විකුණන්න. right? සමහර වෙලාවට දැන් මට එහෙම එක සැරයක් වෙලා තියෙනවා, මගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකට මට හරියට වෙලාවට payment එක කරගන්න බැරි වෙලා ඒගොල්ලෝ මගේ domain name එක ගත්තා. So මට වැඩිපුර සල්ලි දීලා ආයෙ සැරයක් ඒ domain name එක අරගන්න උනා. right? එහෙම ප්‍රශ්නක් තියෙනවා. right? ඉතින් ඒක නිසා domain name එකක් ගත්තම maintain කරන්න ඕනේ. domain name එකකට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් the annual fee is going to be like 3,000 to 5,000 per year, right? මුළු අවුරුද්දටම. right? එතකොට මාසෙකට ගත්තොත් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් it's like less than 500 that we are going to pay, but we have to maintain it, right? And in the very same way for the host or the server space, we have to pay the same amount of money, right? Then each and every domain name has this top level domain, which is indicated by the last dot after the last dot. So like .edu, .org, .lk, and there are many different things that you can use as a top level domain, right? So these domains, top level domains, are majorly categorized into two parts. like the geographical hierarchy and the organizational hierarchy. So this COM-E stands for commercial, EDUE stands for education, GOV stands for government, right? I don't remember what's mill and net is there. Mill mataka vidita millennium. Net I don't remember what it is, right? So likewise. And this geographical hierarchy, LK is for Sri Lanka, UK is for United Kingdom, FR stands for France, right? So likewise, JP stands for Japan, IN stands for India, right? Here, I think I really don't sure about the PE. SPE stand for Spain and GRE stand for Germany, as I remember, right? Likewise, the top level domains are like category into these two things, organizational hierarchy or a geographical hierarchy, right? And it doesn't matter whether you are using an organizational hierarchy or geographical hierarchy. The only thing is like the availability and the uniqueness. Then one .lk කියලා පාවිච්චි කරනකොට බලන කෙනෙකුට ටක් ගාලා අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන්, right? This is a Sri Lankan website කියලා. Right? So likewise, you can use that, right? And now this example is very important. When you are naming a domain or domain එකට නමක් කරගන්නකොට, it should be something very clear to hear and very clear to understand, right? The මෙතන මේ කියලා තියෙන්නේ myweb2.org කියන එක listen කරන කෙනාට myweb.tu කියලා කියන 2 කියන එකයා tu කියලා අරගන්න පුළුවන් myweb2.org කියලා. ඒ නිසා හරියට communicate කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ when we are creating the domain names, we are not using the numbers. It's just the letters that we are going to use, right? So that is what you call a domain name and how it created, right? So regarding these things, I'll highlight the things that you need to take down. So public, just write the main topic, publication of website, and then go for the very first subtopic, which is the web host, right? And through that, it's better you take the very first line. The design website should be hosted. Hold on. Yeah. The very first paragraph. It's better you go through the very first paragraph. Yeah, in the second paragraph, copy the first two lines, right? So starting from if goes until the word institutes, and the first line of the last paragraph as well, right? Those are to be highlighted. And under the domain name, write the subtopic domain name. Yeah, this particular thing, starting from their word in the second paragraph, there is a system to find a website in the World Wide Web. It is known as ICANN, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Right, and yeah, I think you have to take the entire paragraph and the examples as well. And regarding the domain name, we've discussed the domain name specifically in the internet and email lesson. So you don't need to go through the domain name right over here, right? So don't bother about that particular part. And yeah, we'll quickly run through this so we can end up the session after doing that thing. So the next one is the file transfer protocol. So which is we call the FTP in simple words. So why we need a file transfer protocol? To transfer the web pages which we have designed to the host or to the server, right? එක තැනක තියෙන files අපි internet පාවිච්චි කරලා internet cloud එකට එහෙමත් නැත්නම් අපේ server space එකට යවන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට file එකක් transfer වෙනවා. To do that we need a file transfer protocol. So like there are then websites ගත්තම නැත්නම් server spaces ගත්තම it is by default they are providing us a file transfer protocol. Or else we can use a file transfer protocol, something like this, FireZilla, Smart FTN, all these things, right? But remember, this is basically we using these things to transfer the web files or the web design HTML, our HTML files to the server, right? And it can use for transfer the other files as well. But specifically when it comes to the hosting, we need a file transfer protocol to transfer the web pages which are created in our computer to the server, right? And obviously we need the internet connection, right? So without the internet connection we won't be able to host a website, because when the internet connection must be available in the server 24 hours 365 days to give the ability to the general public to visit and see what is in our website. The server එක කොයි වෙලාවක හරි server එකක් internet connection එකෙන් disconnect වුණොත් තමයි අපිට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට පණිවිඩයක් එන්නේ server not found නැත්නම් server down ඒ වගේ දේවල් කියලා, right? So internet service is a must, internet connection is a must, and it is provided by the internet service providers, ISPs, right? So ISP means none other than all the telecommunication companies in Sri Lanka, like Lanka Bell, Mobitel, Dialog, Hutch, and all these things are called the internet service providers. And the maintenance, I think we have discussed this, so I'm not going to go through again and again, make a right? So we have to have the concept, we design the website, have the domain name, have the hosting facility, and we upload it using the file transfer protocol. Then we test the website and update and manage. That is how the website are being managed, right? So that sum up the content of the HTML lesson, right? Let me quickly highlight the things that you need to take down. Yeah, we'll go through the domain name. We went through the domain name, and in the file transfer protocol, yeah, it's better you go like copy it until this particular point, right? Regarding file transfer protocol, and regarding the internet connection. Oh my God. Right, regarding the internet connection, it's better you have. I damaged my hand. Wait, baby, that will come. Huh? Daddy, I damaged my hand. Okay, we'll have some medicine there. Right? Let's put plaster. So this particular sentence and these two sentences, right? So the last sentence of the first para and the first sentence of the second para. Right, an entire second paragraph is needed because it says about the speed, connection charges, and maintenance part of it. So the last sentence of the first paragraph and the entire second paragraph plus these examples, right? So the internet connection, And regarding the maintenance of the web, yeah, just like have the heading and have the diagram. That will help you, right? Have the heading and have the diagram. All right, so that's sum up the HTML lesson. So by next week, we are going to discuss the rest of the 2015 paper, right? So we've done the MCQ. So we are going to do the essay part, right? So until then, I'm going to end the session for the moment. So I will see you on next Saturday for the very same time. So keep it up. Okay, so keep it up, people. You got only 7 more weeks to your examination, right? And then so you got 7 more weeks, right? So get ready. We are going after we do the 2014. I'm thinking about doing the 2019. So get ready for that. Have your best shot on the 2019 paper when you are doing it, right? Right? We'll try to have it as soon as possible, right? Okay, people. So have a very nice weekend, right? Be safe, and I'll see you on next Saturday. Thank you very much, right? Bye bye, people.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Right. Okay. Thank you, Hishani.